welcome. And in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you some tips for navigating through the Mercury retrograde, what that is, and of course, what that means for you, as well as sharing some tips and some tools with you that can help keep you calm during this period and also help you refocus your energies. Okay, so first things first, what is Mercury retrograde? So Mercury retrograde is something that happens about 3-4 times a year, usually about 3 times a year, and it lasts for about 3 weeks. Now, it does involve the planet Mercury, and if you think of where the sun and Mercury are, so here's the sun, here's Mercury, and it's coming around the sun. When it goes in behind the sun, this is what's known as a retrograde, and it almost seems like it's moving slower or moving in reverse because it's going in behind the sun. So this can have an effect on energies here on Earth. For example, this has a direct influence over communication. So this is where a lot of miscommunication can happen, vague communication, forgetfulness, so like forgetting things often, or people just randomly forgetting, and misunderstandings happening because of that. Mercury also rules over moving parts, technology, digital stuff. So if you find that, your computer's going a little wonky, or certain digital things are just not working, or, maybe even breaking down, this is one of those times. This also has a lot to do with travel and moving objects. So for example, vehicles, cars, even equipment can feel the effects of Mercury retrograde. This is also when, things might start to break down, car accidents can happen, and moving parts, some things can break or they can just stop working, right? You may find that you need to do more repairs on vehicles or certain mortar, like basically, equipment that you might be using as well. And it also has a lot to do with things coming up that are no longer working. So during this time, during Mercury retrograde, it can also cause things to slow down. There can be delays. Travel plans may be canceled or may change. Things can change at a moment as well. So unexpected things can also occur during a Mercury retrograde. I mean, really in life, unexpected things can happen at any point, but more so that they can happen during Mercury retrograde. And with Mercury retrograde, that's why we want to be prepared. We don't want to be scared of it or, blame everything on Mercury retrograde. We want to be prepared for it, but we also want to know, what can we do as these things are happening, as these issues come up, as, stressful situations arise. And that's what I'm going to be sharing with you today in this video. So this Mercury retrograde is retrograding back in Virgo. So basically what that means is, this is a good time to, really help ourselves get organized, just organize our homes, organize our space, organize our lives. Maybe, we've fallen off of a routine, or, we've kind of gotten in a rut with our health and fitness or our wellness regimen, right? So this is a good time to take that time to start focusing your energies towards that, just getting back on track. Anything that you can do to, get your energy up, get yourself moving, getting yourself organized, right? Even decluttering your home, that might be a good time to do this as well, because sometimes when we declutter our environment, it helps us declutter other things in our lives and let go of what's no longer serving us. Other things that you can do during this time is get yourself organized, because the more organized that you are, the more time that you actually have, and the more structure you have, which structure builds freedom, right? Structure creates more freedom. So always keep that in mind. Now, with the Virgo retrograde that's happening, the Mercury retrograde in Virgo that is happening, The other things that you can do is, just be patient with yourself, be gentle with yourself. Delays are going to happen. You're going to, things may not go as planned, and there's no sense in stressing, getting mad about it. Don't sweat the small stuff. Really take this time for you. Take this time to, do some of those self-care practices that maybe you've been putting off, and, going and being in nature, right? Doing some grounding practices can also help as well. The other thing too with the Mercury retrograde is things do slow down during this time. So some things might not be going as planned. You might be feeling stressed. You might be feeling anxious. You might be feeling scattered. For some of you, you may be feeling drained, right? And for those times when you are feeling, those energies, those stressful situations come up, these are some of my favorite oils to use. It is, and these are the three that I usually are my go-tos for Mercury retrograde. One is Anchor, which is like meditative blend in the yoga collection. And it's a good smelling oil, very grounding, very calming, and you can diffuse it. You can place a couple of drops on your wrists. You can place some at the base of your spine or the bottom of your feet or the back of your neck, and you'll instantly feel calm. And another one that's really good, this one's good for energy, but it's also good for calming as well. It's also good for procrastination. So that's definitely something that, does happen throughout life. Let's just admit it. Throughout life, procrastination does happen with certain things, but more so during a Mercury retrograde, procrastination happens. There are some things that it's good to wait on, and it's good to, procrastinate on them. But there's certain things that, we shouldn't be procrastinating on. They actually need to get done, but we may not feel like it, right? So balance is a good oil for procrastination, and it's also good for, of course, energy. It's good for metabolism. It's also good for calming energies. So once again, you can place a couple of drops on your wrists. You can smell directly from the bottle. You can diffuse. You can also take a couple of drops, place it on the bottoms of your feet for grounding. You can also place it at the base of your spine where your root chakra is. So usually during a Mercury retrograde, we actually want to ground ourselves more, especially at times where we feel all up in our head and we feel distracted, we feel scattered, we feel like we're moving in a bunch of different directions, right? So we want to actually, when we're feeling like that, come back to our breath, but also do some of our grounding techniques. And during this Mercury retrograde, as it's retrograding back in Virgo, this is a time to really pay attention to how you're feeling, get in tune with your body, take this time to focus your energies on taking care of yourself, because we can't pour from an empty cup. And when we're constantly pouring from an empty cup, things start to kind of fall apart health-wise, energy-wise, right? And, we feel drained. So this is why as things are naturally slowing down, take this time for you, take this time to pay attention to how you're feeling, but also redirect your energy into being proactive and doing what's needed to bring your health back into balance naturally as best as you can. And one of the best ways that you can do that is through using essential oils, through movement, through, feeding your body well with the, food that treats it good, but also, helps with certain health conditions you may have, or helps with, the goals that you're trying to achieve, right? If you're trying to have better energy, you need to start cleaning up your nutrition. And also, making sure to have certain foods that help with that as well, and making sure to eat enough during the day, right? So when it comes to our health, and especially staying calm, balance is one of my favorites. This is also an energizing one, which is good for times when the energy feels low during a Mercury retrograde. The other thing too, the other oil that is a go-to that I like mixing with these two is lavender. Lavender is amazing. You can use it in several different ways. smelling it straight from the bottle. You can place it on your throat chakra. You can place actually some on your chest where your heart is. And when you do that, like if you find stressful situations come up, you're feeling anxious, you're feeling your heart flutter, you can actually take some of the lavender oil, place it on your chest, and that'll actually help with calming you down. You can also take a couple of drops, place them on the back of your neck, place a couple of drops on your wrists and on the bottoms of your feet. You can also have a nice relaxing bath with some of these oils that I just mentioned as well. And then as for energy, because I know having low energy during the Mercury retrograde is a thing, Easy Air is another oil that I recommend. So is peppermint. Lemon is another one, and wild orange is a good one because they're uplifting, they're citrusy, elevation as well. So with Easy Air and peppermint, you can place some oils on your chest. Peppermint's very strong, so you can actually place a couple of drops of Easy Air or peppermint in your hand, go and take like 3 to 5 deep inhales, and that'll boost your energy that way. The other thing too with peppermint is you can diffuse it. It's really great for uplifting your mood if you find you're in a pessimistic mood, right? So you can, looking at the glass half empty instead of half full. So you can add that, you can diffuse that as well. And then last but not least, because Mercury retrograde, things can unexpectedly happen, and times of uncertainty. This was my go-to oil for 2020. It's called Adaptive, and it helps you adapt through bullshit. So you can place a couple of drops on the back of your neck. You can also diffuse it. You can also place a couple of drops on your wrist. Once again, there is wild orange, I believe, in it. It's photosensitive. Make sure to not expose your skin to sunlight after about 48 hours after, or if you do, just cover that part of your skin up. The other thing too with the oils, you can always drop a couple drops in your shower in the morning, and that can be a way to wake yourself up, but calm yourself as well. Now, with the Mercury retrograde, it being in Virgo, this is a time for you to be patient. This is a time for you to, be patient when things don't go right, to be calm. Unexpected things happen, stressful situations happen, and the more that we can be calm, the better we are to respond to them. Now, the other thing too is take time for you, take time for your self-care, really just, take time to do the things that you love and enjoy, or that help restore your body and bring it back into balance. Movement's definitely one of them. Cleaning up your nutrition might be another thing. Getting proper sleep, right? Reducing stress. I know for right now, like when it comes to our self-care, sometimes it's not just, as simple, as taking the time, right? Sometimes there's other things that we might need to do as well, especially if there's like mental health stuff that, we're working through, or personal issues we're going through. And some tools that have helped me was yoga and meditation, especially for my self-care practices. Just doing deep diaphragmatic breathing really helps a lot. And then same with like anytime that I've done like a yoga practice, it definitely helps to reduce stress, but also with symptoms of like anxiety, depression, PTSD, and certain poses can really help calm your nervous system. For example, child's pose or forward fold are some really great poses that you can do. Knees to chest pose is also pretty calming and is also rejuvenating for your kidneys. A lot of the poses in yoga have, different benefits and effects, but a lot of the folds are very calming for the body. Even just going into final relaxation pose, that can be a good one. Legs up wall is a good one as well. Very relaxing and calming too. So these are some of the poses that I like to work with when I'm feeling anxious. Also naughty breathing, which is, you know, where you're doing the naughties, where you're breathing up one nostril and then out the other to balance both the energy bodies in our, energy lines in our body. And it can be a really great way to, you know, just bring balance to our body. There's mudras that we can do too. One of my favorite ones for calming my mind and my body is you take your left hand underneath your right, and then you connect the two thumbs together, and then you sit your hands down onto your lap, and you just do some deep diaphragmic breathing, breathing into your belly, right? Coming out of your head, making yourself aware of, you know, your belly, the breath going into your belly, right? Just, you know, focusing on the breath, doing that breath work, that can be really calming too during this time. You can also do a lot of other grounding techniques as well, like going outside barefoot. Stepping outside barefoot is very grounding and calming. Being out in nature is a very grounding, calming thing that you can do with yourself. Of course, there's stones you can use. I love using the oils. Like I said, the balance oil is one of the best ones. And, you know, just getting, you know, yourself out of your head and into your body. So I think that's why, you know, yoga is so beneficial too, because it literally gets you out of your head and helps you get into your body. And as much as it's a workout, it's also a work in too. So these are some things that you can do over the next few weeks just to, you know, keep yourself calm, but also take care of yourself. Really take this time for you right now. Remember to be patient as things, you know, don't go as planned, and, you know, keep your calm, come back to your breath work. You know, go outside, take a walk, or, you know, go into a forward fold or child's pose when you need to take a rest from life or just need to calm yourself down. Those poses, the child's pose and the forward fold, they calm your nervous system. So they're really good poses to do at any time that you're having a stressful situation come up. So I hope this was helpful. You know, take your time, you know, just exploring self-care or new self-care practices that you can do, right? So yoga, tai chi, right? Going for a walk, you know, doing something you enjoy, maybe doing something creative, right? Just take this time back for you. This is an excellent time to get organized, you know, at home, but with your health as well. Refocus your energies back into your health. And I would love to hear how some of you are doing that. You can, of course, comment down below this video to let me know how you are refocusing your energies on your health and what you're working on over this next month. And other than that, we will see you again soon. I hope these tips were helpful. And if these tips were helpful, make sure to hit the like button down below, hit the subscribe button, and make sure to share this with anyone that you think this would help. Anyways, we will see you again soon. Bye for now.